Great Demon King, Chapter 11. This time, it's a club. Lisa focused entirely on controlling the zombie warrior, but her concentration shattered when Han Shuo abruptly changed direction and charged directly at her. Stunned, she froze in place but quickly snapped out of it in a panic. She hastily ordered the zombie warrior to follow Han Shuo, while sidestepping to avoid his approach. Han Shuo's head was lowered, and his back arched as he charged, making his expression unreadable. Yet, an aura sharp and fierce, like the edge of a blade, radiated from him. This was unlike anything Lisa had ever seen from him before, leaving her both alarmed and perplexed. The zombie warrior lagged behind, unable to match Han Shuo's speed, rendering it useless for the moment. Lisa, visibly shaken, abandoned her previous composure, darting around the room in a desperate attempt to evade Han Shuo. Her panic made her forget to strategize or coordinate with the zombie warrior. "Brian, have you lost your mind? Why are you chasing me?" Lisa shrieked, her voice trembling with alarm. Han Shuo's mind, clouded and unclear, echoed with a single thought. A demon practitioner does as he wishes. Despite understanding the consequences of his actions, punishment from the academy and likely retaliation from Lisa's family, he could not control himself. Reason warred with an overwhelming impulse, and the impulse won. Han Shuo pressed on, embodying the mantra of a demon practitioner. Lisa let out a startled cry as she tripped and fell heavily to the floor. Han Shuo, closing the distance in a single stride, loomed over her. "Brian, if you dare bully me, I'll kill you," she threatened, her voice quaking with both fear and fury. Han Shuo's face twisted in conflict as he hesitated, his foot poised to strike, but Lisa's defiant words only fueled a cruel glint in his eyes. Succumbing to his internal struggle, he brought his foot down firmly onto her pert, rounded buttock. A solid thud echoed through the room, followed by Lisa's high-pitched scream, laced with both pain and indignation. Tears welled up in her eyes as she cursed him, her voice trembling with outrage. Meanwhile, within Han Shuo's chest, the magical yuan churned with newfound intensity. Claude's pale green fighting aura, which had lingered in Han Shuo's body throughout the day, was rapidly absorbed and dissolved by the whirlpool of magical energy. As the aura vanished, the magical yuan grew noticeably stronger, circulating with renewed vigor throughout his body. The sensation was transformative. Han Shuo felt rejuvenated, his mental state clearer and sharper than ever, as if he had ingested an elixir. It dawned on him then. The mantra a demon practitioner does as he wishes was literal. Acting on his desires accelerated the magical yuan's power, even transmuting external energies into its nourishment. A demon practitioner does as he wishes, and benefits himself at the expense of others, Han Shuo mused with a faint smirk. Lisa, clutching her sore backside, glared at Han Shuo through tear-streaked eyes. "You'll regret this, Brian. You hurt me," she snarled, her voice shaking with fury. Han Shuo's smirk faltered. Lisa's fiery temperament was notorious, and her threats were far from empty. If the academy learned of his actions, he would face severe consequences. Her injury seemed serious enough to provoke a backlash he was ill-equipped to handle. At that moment, the zombie warrior reached Han Shuo and swung its wooden club toward his head. Han Shuo instinctively dodged, surprised at how effortlessly he avoided the blow. He quickly realized it wasn't the zombie warrior that had slowed down. It was his own reflexes and agility that had improved. "Too slow," Han Shuo taunted, a mischievous grin spreading across his face as he dodged another swing. With each evasion, his movements became more fluid, his confidence growing. Lisa, frustrated and distracted by the throbbing pain in her rear, dismissed the zombie warrior in exasperation. "Damn it, Brian, this isn't over," she yelled, struggling to rise from the floor. Her legs buckled beneath her, and she fell back with a sharp cry of pain. With no more threats pressing him, Han Shuo approached Lisa cautiously. Extending a bony hand, he said, "Let me take you to the infirmary." "Mind your own business, idiot," Lisa snapped, her voice laced with venom. Her glare could have burned through steel, but her face remained flushed from pain and embarrassment. Han Shuo paused, a mischievous glint creeping into his eyes. Ignoring Lisa's protests, he reached out toward her backside with an impish grin. "Then let me rub it for you," he said with mock sincerity. Lisa froze, her face burning red. "Go to hell, Brian," she screamed, thrashing her arms and legs in outrage. Her frantic movements sent Han Shuo toppling over, landing awkwardly on top of her, his hand still planted firmly on her posterior. The sudden intimacy left them both momentarily stunned. Lisa's delicate fragrance filled Han Shuo's senses, and a strange warmth surged through him. His mind reeled at the unexpected sensations, leaving him dazed. Lisa's face turned crimson as she regained her senses. Her hands moved instinctively to cast a necromancy spell, her voice icy cold as she chanted, "Oh, endless darkness, turn into destructive bone arrows." Han Shuo panicked. If Lisa completed the spell, he would undoubtedly suffer. Desperate, he acted on impulse, lunging forward to silence her by pressing his lips firmly against hers. Lisa's chant dissolved into muffled protests. Both of them froze as the unexpected kiss sent shockwaves through their minds. Han Shuo, inexperienced and overwhelmed, felt as though he had ascended to another plane of existence. The softness of Lisa's lips, the warmth of her breath. It was beyond anything he had imagined. Lisa, equally stunned, pushed Han Shuo away after a moment, her face aflame. "Stupid Brian," she stammered, pointing at him accusingly. "Why do you always have weird things in your pants? Last time it was rocks, now it's a club."